Alright lads, so the end of month banner for the month of February has officially been announced. Yesterday we did speak about what the banner could be in terms of rumors that was going around. The fact that based off of the attribute tree training grounds, it looks like we are getting some Quincy's, a 2-character banner, but the fillers do potentially look good. Let's find out what we are getting, and the banner this month is indeed Bazz-B vs Jugram. Right now I will say the art does actually look pretty cool. The banner itself is called Friends. Wasn't the last banner with Bazz-B and Jugram called that? Finally though, we are getting a new Bazz-B and Jugram, specifically based on the Fighting Core 3. Hopefully both of them are good, right? Obviously, I don't like the idea that it is a 2-character banner. Really not sure what 3rd character they could have thrown in there, but, you know, it makes sense. Would have liked to have seen a 3rd character. Scrolling down, Jugram. I'm still a bit old. Apologies. Jugram is going to be the SP character. Power, ranged, holo killer, Grammy, and then Bazz-B is going to be the heart character. Is he also going to be a SP unit or a NAD unit? I guess we're going to find out. So, hopefully Jugram doesn't have Frenzy +2. Oh no, he does! Wait, hold on, he does have Frenzy 2. Unless Frenzy 4? Nah, so he does have the gauge effect. So, I believe this is going to be another Frenzy 2 character, but it is the return of the gauge effect. So, he's going to have the gauge probably for a long time. It's been a minute since we've last seen a gauge effect, so I'm here for it. But if we have a look at the stuff here, all attacks inflict lacerate. His EX move is a super strong attack, holo killer plus, gauge effect, frenzy +1, and also 100% berserker. So unless he has frenzy +1 here, damage output for this character should be what you expect from a 2026 unit. With that, he also does have an EX skill where he has lacerator. So every 5 or so seconds, there's a 12% chance he does inflict lacerate against any enemy on the field. And with that, you're then doing more damage to lacerated enemies. Since he is a gauge character, he does start the gauge with 70%, and he also does have element reversal, which makes sense because it's Jugram, right? If he didn't have it, it'd be a bit of a problem. So scrolling down, what frenzy does he have? Okay, he has frenzy +2. I got a little bit scared there because lately it's been just frenzy 2 everywhere, right? So it is another frenzy 2 unit, but you can, you know, forgive it, since he actually does get Frenzy free majority of the time. So what we're looking at here is a pretty solid character. You have Frenzy +2, a 50% Berserker, more damage slash rated enemies at 60%. If we don't take into account the EX skills, right, which can go up to 35%, for the most part, yes, 60%. Through bonus abilities, you can take that to 40%. So that in of itself is really good. You get the 80% spiritual pressure boost. Surprisingly, not seeing 100%. That was something that the anniversary did introduce. We do have the increased status of enchant, again, 50% Berserker, and then when the gauge is added, Frenzy +3, 150% Berserker. So damage output for the most part doesn't seem to be that much of an issue for this character, fortunately, right? Something that we've unfortunately been seeing for the last 2 characters. He doesn't have, in a way, anything like super unique about him, which isn't that bad, truth be told, besides maybe the element reversal, because it's rare for us to see that. But at least as of right now, I don't think he's missing any skills here per se. I guess long stride, but you can give that through bonus abilities. He does have the 14% recharge. He does have an EX move. I don't believe he has a superior strong attack, unless he does. I don't think they mention it anywhere. Overall, this should be good. And again, as a ranged holo killer, that means you can pair him with Grammy, and Grammy is going to make this unit better. So do like that he wasn't given any team buffs specifically for Quincy's. We do see that every now and then. I remember when Giselle came out, for example, she did have Quincy buffs, so she wasn't nearly as good when used with Grammy. Fortunately, in this case, if you do use Jugram with Grammy, he's getting the max amount of buffs. Scrolling down, Bazz-B is going to be the normal attack damage character. Would have loved to have seen a double strong attack damage banner, truth be told. I get it, no attack damage characters have to exist in this game, right? And they also have become really good, so it is what it is. What I don't like, though, is that he is a holo killer plus unit. I don't like the idea of what we are potentially seeing here, is that it's a 2-character banner, and both characters are designed to be used in one team. I guess, funny enough, they're different attributes, which is something that I did want, but I don't like the idea of 2 characters being used together in the same team, both same killer effects, which does seem to be the case. Regardless, though, it's another gauge character. Maybe I do like it. I'm liking the synergy between Bazz-B and Jugram. I don't know. I'm kind of like going against what I just said, but I kind of like the idea of it now. They're both literally like the exact same, just in a different category. One's a NAD unit, one's a strong attack damage character, and they both have the gauge effect, Flurry +1 and also 100% bruiser. All attacks except his SA2 and 3 can inflict burn plus, and that's because his SA2 and 3 do actually have a boost effect, so that's really good. His soul trait is 40% more normal attack damage. EX skill is a team buff where he gives everyone more damage in the entire team to any enemy that is inflicted by a status element. He does have a 100% bruiser, and then he is also given Quincy buffs, a 20% strong attack damage boost, and also 20% more special move damage. So scrolling down, we are seeing Flurry plus 2 free when you have the gauge active. He has a 100% bruiser with the extra 40% through the soul trait and an extra 100% plus Flurry plus 1 when you do have the gauge effect. Long reach sharpshooter, he's going to be a really good dad character with the poise, the boost effect on his SA2 and 3. He has the gauge rampage. I guess if you do like gauge characters, this banner is offering 2, 1 strong attack damage and 1 normal attack damage. And I guess him having an increased stat element chance to inflict stat elements is also going to be really good. So yeah, Bazz-B and also Jugram paired together in the same team is going to be quite crazy. And the fill pool is as expected. It's an absolutely insane fill pool, I will be honest. So even though unfortunately it is a 2-character banner, I'm going to be summoning because there's 2 characters I don't own here, that being Toshiro and also Rangiku. Absolutely insane. Never before seen in a way. We are seeing Aaroniero return in this banner so soon. He's only like 8 months old. Normally, we wouldn't see him as a filler until the 11th anniversary. So really good to see him here. Maybe that means Jushiro and also Renji could become fillers sometime sooner than later. But also maybe they just threw him in here as a special one-off character because, you know, it's kind of like a remake of the 5th anniversary banner with Jugram, Bazz-B, and also Aaroniero all in one banner. But with that, Mask and Soifon is still pretty good. Shinji's okay. Not the worst, but again, this is the first time he is a filler alongside the zombie duo, who unfortunately are being power crept with the new, Bazz-B and Jugram. But also Ichigo's here too. So for me, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 characters. There's 8 characters for me to summon that I actually want. And for the most part, it's a normal banner. Discount every 5 steps, guaranteed every 5 steps, and also a guaranteed character of your choice on step 25. I won't be going to step 25, but I definitely will doing at least 10 steps. At least 12 steps. Alright then, so having a look at the artwork, it looks really cool. I actually like that Bazz-B's flames are actually present in Jugram's artwork. It actually looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to finally get a good playable Jugram, right? And I'm not listening to the video, by the way. I'm not. If Oliver ain't there, I don't want to hear it. Let me look at the model real quick though, because it has been updated. It's been quite a while since we last seen a Jugram in game, right? I think it looks similar enough. I think his head looks very different though. It looks a bit weird, but in a good way, right? Because I'm not used to it. So yeah, from the looks of it, he does actually have a superior strong attack too. So yeah, Jugram's got everything going for him. I think that's a good unit right there. I don't think there's anything to... He also has the revive. Self-revive on the soul bomb. I guess that's kind of cool. Not like it's needed, to be fair. But right now, we're looking at an overall good unit, especially in the power attribute. Will he be the best power character in the game? Potentially. He's definitely going to be competing with Jushiro. I guess if we were to really nitpick, the only bad thing would be the frenzy +2 at a very certain point where you have to, you know, gain your strong attacks back, or you have to build up the gauge once more. His SA1 is going to be an AoE in front of him. I think it's going to be a vacuum-like attack. SA2 seems to be another AoE around him, maybe a 960 in front of him. A distant AoE. And then if we have a look at his full screen effects, what are we looking at here? Just a slash. Visually, I'm not going to lie, it's not super amazing. But then again, what attacks does Jugram actually do? Besides just slash, right? Maybe it would have been nice to see some flame effects alongside this character. Very similar to how we see flame effects into the character's artwork. But I was always wondering how they would make this character a character, because this, for the most part, is the first fight that he did do in the 1000 Year Blood War anime. Doesn't seem to be Jugram with multiple eyes, right? That would be cool for. And I guess I'm curious to see what his summon is going to be. I mean, I assume it's going to be based off the artwork where he grabs the arrow or slashes Bazz-B. But it's likely just going to be a slash. So yeah, overall, I think Jugram's going to be a good character. Definitely a good character to have for his respective guild press phase. And I think for Jugram fans, it's going to be nice to finally get a good, just playable character. And for a second there, did we see, does Bazz-B have the flame arm on his nat string? If that's the case, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. We're getting a little sneak peek here. And yeah, this team is going to go absolutely crazy too, because Bazz-B is going to be the team booster. And then, you know, what's his name? Gremmy is going to be boosting his damage output and also Bazz-B's, right? That's going to be really good. Really, really good. I don't know why, but Bazz-B's showing that he has the attack boost and SP boost. So yeah, the new best team for the Range Solo Guild Quest is likely now going to be Bazz-B, Jugram, and also Gremmy. They're all getting buffs. Bazz-B does give a 20% strong attack damage boost, which doesn't stack with Gremmy's, I believe. So that's kind of unfortunate. Maybe it would have been better if you just gave a different type of buff. But overall, I think both are going to be very well together. Now let's have a look at the special move. Let's quickly turn it up, though I do want to hear it this time. Let's see it. Okay. When he shouts at him. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that. You can tell they clearly didn't have much to work with here. I believe that's the slash he does to Bazz-B. Maybe the scene itself was way too well animated for them to recreate that in-game. I'm not too sure. I need to refresh my memory on how it did look. But I think more so, I don't think you actually see the slash. I think you just see a big AoE, and then Bazz-B just walks away with no arm. So again, I was always wondering how they would adapt it. It looks alright. It looks alright. But let's see Bazz-B. Bazz-B arts looks insane. That actually looks really cool. Model looks as expected. He looks like he's standing up super tall right now. But let's see the gameplay. So we have a range normal attack damage character. SA3 is going to be AoE around him. SA2 is the slash. Oh! Wait, his Night String has the Quincy bow? That's kind of funny. I don't think... He doesn't use that at all, right? Until the... besides the flashback? I guess that's kind of cool that they did include that. That's actually pretty funny. I actually do like his Night String. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the, the massive flame arm. That would have been really cool to see in just his gameplay in general. But I believe his Night String is burning 1, 2, and 3, and then a Quincy bow. Would have been maybe nice to see Jugram have a Quincy bow. If he has one. Does he have one? I can't remember. I think I do like Bazz-B's visuals a bit more. Then again, it's just flame effects, right? If he had Havoc as an SP character, they would have looked a lot better given the more range. But yeah, we can see another example of this team being used. Kind of surprising. They aren't the same attribute. That's something that they have been doing as of late. Probably for the best. I think Bazz-B being a hot character means he's going to age better over time, right? Because what we're going to see, what we've seen in the Range Solo Guild Quest, in order to power creep Gremmy, right, because he was really good in this Guild Quest phase, they made the final boss power. So Gremmy had attribute disadvantage, and then the new characters were speed. And we're kind of seeing that again with Jugram, right? To power creep Toshiro and also Rangiku, the final boss is going to be technique, so they have attribute disadvantage, and therefore Jugram does have attribute advantage. That means eventually, sometime in the future, potentially we get another character, they might make the final boss, a speed character again, So Gremmy, let me go back. So Gremmy might get better over time. But it means Bazz-B's never going to have attribute disadvantage for the most part, which is a good thing. Nice. Why are they darken it a bit? See, that looked a lot better. They actually had a scene to adapt, so that actually looked a lot better. I like that. Way better camera angles. At the very least. So let's see that Sobom again. Him charging up the blade looks really cool. We get a nice little zoom in. I'm pretty sure that's where he gets his arm cut off. Then we see the burning four fingers. We see Jugram in the heat. In the thick of it. Funny that they don't obviously show him. Because that, it's technically not supposed to be Jugram. It's supposed to be like the enemies you're using it against. Nice little zoom on shot. I like that. Actually, again, I like Bazz-B's visuals more. Unfortunately, though, he's the nice character. But it is what it is, right? So with that said, to recap the video, honestly, I do like this banner. I'm definitely going to be summoning. I like the character choicing. I'm a big fan of Bazz-B and also Jugram. These two together in the same banner just makes sense. Again, I would have liked to have seen a third character, but it's not a big deal breaker for me. Would have preferred if Bazz-B was another strong attack damage character, but both of them in a way being designed to work together is something that I didn't think I'd like, but both of them being gauge characters, for example, one being a strong attack damage, one being a normal attack damage, I think is actually pretty cool. And with that in mind, both of them are really good, with almost perfect skills. With that in mind, I think Jugram isn't perfect, technically, right? So damage output is not going to be an issue. He's not going to have the same situation that we saw with Shinsui and also Uryu, where they only have Frenzy +2. While yes, he does have Frenzy +2, he does have the gauge effect, and that gives him Frenzy +3 and 150% Berserker. However, now that I've realized it, the character itself doesn't have the strong attack cooldown when the gauge activates, and that is actually a big problem that Nini had, and I honestly didn't enjoy her gameplay because of that. Granted, Nini had another problem with her damage output not being good, but one of the main things about Gage characters is that when the Gage effect does activate, all your strong attacks cooldown gets reduced. He doesn't have that. Maybe for some reason, like we've been seeing with Shunsui and also Uryu, it's a way to balance them. Why are we balancing characters? I don't know. Does the character have too many skills? Give them more skills. I'm sure it doesn't break the game by giving him another skill, that being the Gage, cooldown effect, but despite him having that slight problem, he's not a perfect unit. I think he's overall very solid. I don't think he's going to be bad whatsoever. I think he's going to be a fun character, especially with the idea that it's our first playable spiritual pressure, strong attack damage, Jugram. He has a problem in his kit, but overall he's going to be a really good character. And if you're a Jugram fan that has been waiting for this character, I don't think that one or lack of one skill is going to be much of an issue. Actually, while on that, he doesn't have Poise Break too, but it wasn't much of an issue with Uryu, especially won't be an issue with these characters, given that he does have Lacerate in all of his attacks. But also, most importantly, the idea is to use him with Gremmy, and Gremmy's going to be constantly inflicting paralysis. The enemies won't be moving whatsoever. And then as for Bazz-B, I think his attribute is going to be good in the long term. Him being a hard character is better than just being a power character, for example, because then he would do less damage in the future, right? Like what we are going to see with a rank Giku. As for an Nad unit, Nad characters rarely ever have anything bad with them as of late. Like, they're almost perfect. He has a really good damage output. Nice to see a normal attack damage Gage character at that. He has the recharge built in with the 2 strong attacks. With the EX skill, it's going to be really good for him. Overall, Bazz-B is just basically like a really good normal attack damage character, and then again, the filler pool was actually really good too, so I think it's a pretty solid banner. Not a must-summon by any means, but for me, it's definitely a very easy 2,000 plus orbs on this banner. I want to get the new characters, and I also do want to get the filler pool. Again, really impressive in a way to see Uryu as a filler so soon. We shouldn't see him as a filler until the 11th anniversary. I guess compared to last month, it's a step in the right direction. Better filler pool, technically better characters too, right, in terms of skills. I mean, both Uryu and Ichigo are still good, but in the comments below, let me know what you like to think about the characters, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.